welcome back to Like I Was Saying with Velvet and Feed Baby. Two misguided hoes talking about whatever the fuck they feel like without interruption, like we were saying.
What up, y'all?
It's a party.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully y'all having a great week thus far.
Yes. Welcome back. How you been, V?
You know, I've been good. Let's introduce ourselves to these lovely people. I am Velvet.
And it's your girl, Feed Baby.
You and that fucking name. But yes, and welcome to Like I Was Saying podcast. So yeah, how's your week been?
It's been good. For anybody who's in the VA area, all part of Virginia is experiencing different parts of winter currently.
Facts. Rain, snow, ice, sleet, sun. Like, what the fuck?
We specifically have had rain.
For like the last several days.
And it looks like it's going to continue on.
At least it's not snow though, so I'm okay. Because I just don't want to drive in snow.
Yeah, those to the northern of us
have a bunch of snow.
They can keep that.
All of it.
Yeah.
Keep every bit, every inch.
Otherwise, been pretty good. There's been some changes since the last time on our topic about Miss Tessica Brown.
Oh, yes.
AKA.
So Guerrilla Glue hair.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's good news, though.
Yes.
She had surgery.
Yes.
And her hair is, like, I don't think we've seen a picture of it necessarily. Well, I haven't. Have you?
Yes.
Okay, so I did not get to see the picture, but I was told that her hair is free-flowing. I think they saved a bit of it.
It looks like she had a good few inches, multiple inches.
Was better than none, so.
Yeah. They look initially before, so the surgery that she had was done for free or pro bono by a plastic surgeon by the name of, I don't want to mispronounce it, but Dr. Michael Obeng in LA. So he had her come there and he did the surgery for free. But
That's nice.
Yes, absolutely. Before he did the surgery, however, they were able to get a lot of the issues they were having when they were trying to do it from home and like applying acetone to her hair. They kept finding themselves, it would eventually, break up the Gorilla Glue, but as soon as it would break it up, it would harden again. So everything they were doing at home just wasn't working. Yeah, they did cut off a portion of her ponytail before she did go.
I saw that, yeah. And you can see like the back end, it like opened up a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure it was painful trying to go through all that too. I was looking at one, like a little snippet of it. It was on my Snapchat of when like I think the lady was trying to pull it, and I was like, I could not even imagine the pain. Because it's literally stuck to your head.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, so I'm happy she got that relief. Unfortunately, it has encouraged other people to test the limits of Gorilla Glue.
Isn't there a challenge, right?
So before the challenge, there was a fellow New Orleansan.
What? Don't think that's a word.
Who you add IAN to after every single location. It automatically becomes the people who reside there. Where he glued a plastic cup to his lip because he thought that everything about this Gorilla Glue was fugazi.
But why would you do it to your even lip? Why would you do it to your hand?
Well, now he has a natural mask.
Facts.
He's got a mask.
He just need one for his nose.
That's permanent on his face.
But you can't eat.
No. But like you mentioned, it did spiral into a challenge.
Which doesn't make sense. Like, why would y'all see this is obviously something that's happening? Why would there even be a challenge?
So I feel like this is the second coming of the Tide Pods, where people were like literally ingesting the pods and were either getting violently ill, and I think a couple died. So it's things that are very commonsensical to not do. But yet, we defy logic. Because
it really goes to how people want to be, quote, famous. I'm not saying that, what's her name?
Tessica.
I was about to say Trev, but I was like, it's Tessica. I'm not saying that she did that, but the people following is obviously a reason for that. Because she also had the, where they were donating money
The GoFundMe.
Yes.
She raised a nice little penny.
Yes. So it's like people are probably thinking, oh, well, she did that. Well, I could probably do it too. But it's not the case. I feel like the only reason she received that amount of money from people is because hers was truly, she really just didn't read and glued the shit to her head. Y'all are actually doing something that's so fucking stupid. That doesn't make no sense. You obviously know and saw her go through what she went through. So no, let me glue this fucking cup to my mouth.
I mean, right after it happened, I'm not sure what happened or what steps had to be taken, but right after that happened, she became verified on most social media platforms. Like, she got the blue check ASAP. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, because she was the first.
Yes,
you have to be the first. Y'all are not the first now.
But not many people get verified. It's not easy to become verified. Yes. And so for her to become verified overnight, that's enticing to folks that she became verified so quickly. She got so much money that she did. And now she's actually able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, because she got shirts.
Yep, has steamrolled it into money for her. That's enticing to other people. A lot of people are looking for something that's a quick kind of situation.
But again, she was able to do that because she was the first.
Touche.
And not the second, third, fourth, or 10. People are not going to be like, they're going to say, you obviously saw what happened, but I can't help you. Now you're going to have to pay for your own surgery. Yeah. You're not getting this. Now you're going to walk around with this. You're definitely going to have a scar from that thing on your mouth. Yeah. Like, hers was her hair, so she may not have a scar that we can see. I'm quite sure there's probably something like on her scalp, but we're not going to be able to see that if her hair, stays the way that it is, etc. But you literally glued something around your mouth. We're going to see that.
Oh, yeah. It's supposed that he might have to lose a part of his lip. That's what I was hearing. And there'll probably be some plastic surgeon that steps up and provides free surgery to him potentially.
Well, that's nice.
For exposure. I mean, I'm sure, the same gentleman that helped out
her,
Tessica, is probably, it's the same thing with, like, if Gorilla Glue just would have ignored it, it's good publicity. So, it's attention they're getting, and if they just wouldn't have responded to it, would have looked negatively upon them. Acknowledging it, looks favorably on them for, whether or not it's of negligence of their company or not. So I'm sure someone will step up for the gentleman.
I don't understand why. If I was a surgeon, I wouldn't, because you obviously knew why.
But it's good publicity, though, is what I'm saying. For him being generous, that gets your name out there. It gets you visual. So it's more or less, it's to be the humanitarian thing. But at the same time, it also helps their brand.
Yeah. Not I. I hope everything goes well with him, and I'm glad everything is going well with Tessica. My bad. Tessica. I'm very happy everything's going good with Tessica. However.
Gotcha. We're picking up what you're putting
If y'all can see my face, I'm not saying in relation to her, but anything past her, it's just I don't understand. I really didn't understand her. If you listen back to our other podcasts, I said that as well. But it's mainly because I was like, come on, everybody know what Guerrilla Glue is. But I guess it could have been that she thought they branched out and made hair stuff. It literally could have been a bunch of other things. So that I can get. But anyone past that point, anyone doing this challenge, I am not clearly understanding of the reason of why. And if you are doing this challenge, I would love for you to email us. Our information is, below. Please email us so we can understand the reason of why. Because I would really like to know. And maybe we're just not understanding.
Yeah, something else I'm not understanding is Trump's acquittal. That's something that's very, it's sitting, it's kind of interesting. So for those who... don't know, he was, impeached by, one portion of the process, and then it was time for the second part. I want to say it was the Senate to vote on impeaching him, and it ended in acquittal based on the arguments of one, somehow him inciting the riot on the Capitol was protected by his freedom of speech.
The First Amendment.
And then, as well as that, it's unconstitutional to impeach a no longer sitting president. So, what this means
is his ass is going to run again.
As well as he gets to maintain his Secret Service, protection, being a former president. So, it's going to be frustrating because like we discussed before, if Biden doesn't perform to a specific standard that anybody expects, like in general, if he doesn't literally take you by the seat of your pants, then that's going to automatically turn anybody who may have turned away from Trump for Biden this time because of Trump's actions.
Is going to vote for Trump.
It's going to turn back that way. In my personal opinion, there. So I just I'm not satisfied. I'm sure I'm not. I don't speak for myself. I know a lot of people are very upset about how that decision came about. But I kind of saw it was very odd to try to impeach someone who's no longer the seating president.
Well, I already knew it was going to happen. So
yeah.
When I saw it come across my feed, I said, "Oh, I knew that was going to happen," and I kept on pushing. But that is the current news.
Yeah,
I have nothing else to say towards that.
Something else that's been a hot topic of discussion.
What are we talking about? A movie or music?
We talking about this new Netflix release.
Malcolm and Maria, y'all. So, I would say...
So, before, if you have not seen it, skip past what we about to say. There are spoiler alerts all up in
Spoiler alert.
What we about to do. So, don't be mad if you continue to listen at this point.
Because it's not a fault we told you.
Because we let you know. Proceed, B.
So, Malcolm and Marie is a movie starring Zendaya. And I do not know his... Is it John, I believe? Right?
Let's fact check. Let me just verify.
I believe it's John.
But Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah. I believe it's... I was going to say Denzel. Look at me.
John David Washington.
Yes, okay. So, John Washington. And overall, I would tell people to watch it. I think that it's very interesting. So that's my first statement. Second statement is it was a lot.
So what's the movie about? So it has it starts
I'm sorry.
A synopsis.
Yes. So these two are together in a relationship of whatever sort. And apparently he is a filmmaker. And she was an actress or aspiring actress. But they're together. She was apparently a drug addict when they first met. And the film that he created is really about her life. It's the way that she perceives it. Right? And then...
Because it is about a young lady who was
around the same age as she was when she was strung out on drugs and how she got her life together. And so he basically thanked everyone and their mama but her. And she had feelings about this. Like, how can you thank all these other people when this movie is about me? You wrote this about me, and I've been here throughout this whole time, reading, listening, etc. to, while you've been writing this for it to become a movie, and I get no thanks. And they got into a lot of arguments. There was nothing physical, which I enjoyed. I really like that, because usually with movies like that, I always feel like someone about to get hit. Or
there was just one door push. That was about it. There was one door slam push.
Yes.
But that was about it.
But there was no physical touching upon each other in that nature. So I really love that part, because usually I'm thinking, oh shit, someone about to hit somebody, someone about to die. That's all I'm thinking. So yes, that is really the synopsis for the most part. They argue back and forth throughout the movie. That's really the movie, them arguing back and forth.
Yes, because it takes place after an awards ceremony.
Yes, for him.
That he got as a result of the film.
Yes.
And then it's just them kind of coming down off that night.
And she came in and made him some Kraft macaroni and cheese, which I did not understand, because that shit is nasty.
I like Kraft mac and cheese. I
shit
appreciate a good...
nasty. You heard me?
Let me
sound it out for you.
Macaroni and a pot Kraft cheese.
If I'm getting macaroni in a pot, period, it's going to have to be Velveeta. But it is not no damn Kraft. That powder shit, nasty. Oh my God.
So your block of cheese that stays good? No matter the temperature it's in?
No, Velveeta is not block of cheese.
It's a sauce.
Yes.
That makes it any better?
That sauce is way better than that fucking powder that you put on there, and then you have to mix in that milk that sometimes don't even get all the powder, so when you bite it, it just, that's like,
You gagging like Zendaya did after.
Yes. No, nasty. Anyway, she makes some macaroni, but he could tell that she's upset. And then she's like, hold on, I made your macaroni, let that be it, and we'll talk about it later. But Sir did not want to do that. And that's where shit went from, a 1 to, what number would you say?
On a Richter scale of 1 to 10, it was an even 17.
Like, she legit was like, it's not going to be good. Let's just not talk about it. And he just said, Marie, like 18 times. And that irritated me. I was like, bro, please stop. But he just kept Marie, and she, and then it went south, like real south real quick.
Because I feel like it starts by showing the difference in people's communication styles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people need to be able to express how they feel. Now, also, mind you, it would be assumed that they definitely had influences of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So that also exacerbates how people are in general. So
well, he definitely did. So his is not assumed. She did not drink on camera.
Yeah, but for those who didn't, they were both, he at least definitely had alcohol.
Yes.
We're well aware. You can tell he was stumbling a bit. So not really sure if she did. It was a night of celebration, so there's potential. Yeah. But I feel like first it's a reflection of communication style.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, he seems to be somebody who wants to address how he's feeling right then and there, get the emotions out, deal with it. She's one of those, we can deal with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's think about it, come back to the drawing board. And it's really difficult when you have people who are both like that in a relationship, because it's really hard to find a common ground. Mm-hmm. Because for a person who wants to deal with it right here, right now, to delay that almost feel like they're not being heard and they're not being validated. Even though the intent behind it is to just allow you time
to think and breathe. Mm-hmm.
So, for one, I think that's reflective first and foremost of that. But I feel like you see a lot of pride and ego in it because of how the moment one person cuts 2 inches deep, the next person comes back and cuts
18.
Yes.
Don't even say 4 or it was they were both on a different level. But I can say that he went to his level when he was saying some things. I just was like, I don't know if I would have sat there and listened to it. Fee, could you have sat there and listened to it?
So which part do you feel, because again, they went through multiple back and forths.
Yes.
What was the most difficult portion for you to watch?
Hold on, that's tight. Because there's 2 scenes, the bathroom scene, and then the scene where she had asked him why you didn't cast me. And she was like, without you being hurtful, and he couldn't do that. And that part there is what irritated me the most, I think, out of irritated might not be the best word, but that's the part that I didn't like the most. Like the bathroom scene, he was just cutting her. Like, it was like he was stabbing her ass. Not literally, y'all, but like stabbing her ass. But that point where she just said, I want to ask you something. Can you just tell, answer truthfully, but also do it without,
pretty much like, don't make me feel like shit. Don't.
Yes. And he couldn't do that. All she asked is why you didn't cast me as, as the main character, cast me period in the movie. And I feel like, okay, that's a legit question. All he had to do was answer it. Like, I didn't cast you because, when you auditioned, I didn't think you gave 100%, and it's just not me doing it. Usually when there's a cast, it's more than just one person. There's usually about 3 people that are there. So if it was him, he may have done it, but I think that, if you don't bring your all to it, then that's something different. I feel like that could have been the answer, and that could have been it. But he, at first, didn't even answer it. He asked her a question. And then it was like he asked her another question. And then finally he answered it, but it wasn't, he said what I said, but different. And then said other shit on top of it. Like,
I think his first question was, did you really want it?
Yeah, did you really want, and then it was like, well, it's because you're jealous. And it was like,
all he had to do was, you purposely didn't do well.
Yes.
In order for, like, that was a little bit later. He said that you intentionally didn't do well. That way I wouldn't cast you, and then you would blame me. Like, it was a whole entire mind fuck that she was doing.
Yes, it was, yeah. And so that part, because she specifically asked you, just answer the question, and that be it. But you had to go all over this other place when you could have just answered it the way I just did. You know, I didn't feel like you brought your all to there, and I really wish you would have, because that could have been like something of that nature. Mm-hmm. Cool, bam, that's it. But no, you had to go you're jealous, this is that. No, sir, I didn't ask for any of that.
Yeah.
And that irritated me, because that showed me that you're not even respecting what I'm asking. I asked you a simple question, and I feel like that should have just got an answer.
Right. Now, the bathroom scene, that hurt, because I feel like it hit different because...
So explain it a little bit.
So he comes into the bathroom while she's sitting in the tub. Mm-hmm. Just sitting there soaking, and for some reason he decides to kind of pick up and have this rehashing again, as they do throughout the entire movie. He begins to, she mentions multiple times, so mind you, the question that kind of fucked with me in terms of why didn't you cast me, that question came after the bathroom scene.
Yes.
So in the bathroom scene, he decides to, as we mentioned before, she believes the entire movie is kind of based around her person, her life, her struggles with drugs. And so essentially she was like his muse in the entire situation. And he decides to tell her that, you know, the movie, you believe it's solely based on you. Well, I pretty much like, I've got something for that ass, is essentially where he begins. And he starts talking about, you know, the way she walks, that's not you, that's her. The bike ride, that wasn't us in XYZ.
That was me and my ex.
That was me, her in Brooklyn. Like, so you thought I was being very intimate and intentional with creating this character around you, where actually it's about the first woman this part was about the first woman I ever loved. Oh,
and one was about when he had sex in with a stripper, because he kept saying dancer. Yeah, we'll call her a dancer. Stripper in a hotel, in a heart-shaped tub. And
I think what messed with me the most about that is that she couldn't go anywhere. He caught her in a very vulnerable place. She obviously went to somewhere and was trying to do something that was going to help her decompress from the situation. And he entered that safe space for her. And, you know, that's not really something that you can just like get up and run away. You're literally just naked inside of a tub. Like, you obviously could get up and leave, but it's just, I feel like you're held down more to where you're at because of where she was.
Yeah.
And so she couldn't escape like this relentless just digging and just talking about how, and it was very odd because he did all of this tearing down of her. And what he said, and he goes, you know, Marie, I love you. Like, I fucking love you. But then he follows that by saying, but I don't need you.
Yes. I remember your reaction to that.
Because that's very difficult to hear from someone who you see as like your partner, someone you could potentially marry. Like, I think those two should go
together,
hand in hand. Because if you don't need me, then that means me removing myself from your life would have no impact on you. Or if it's just, instead of a need, it's a want, then you'll eventually get over it. But I feel like if you do love somebody in that capacity,
there's a need for
there's person. A need.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I need you to do something for me. It's just, I need you in my life.
Yeah, you help me, you know, you navigate this world. Like, you're a piece of me.
Exactly.
So without you, you know, that doesn't function the same way.
Yes. And that part right there, when he said that, I was like, damn, how can you love someone that you don't need?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And it's just like, he just kept finding different ways, then talking about like breaking her like a twig. Like, it just...
he came in and said that part. He came in, sat down and said that part.
Like, it's everything he did. I feel like the things that throughout the movie she said were to help him be self-reflective of what he's doing. Whereas everything he did was to purposely tear her down. Yeah.
It was a difference.
Yes. I do truly feel like what she said was to help him be more self-reflective and to make him aware of what his actions.
Yeah. What I'm curious on, and I really wish we could have watched that with a man, on what his opinion is. Because we're both females, so I feel like we see it probably from a certain point of view. I feel that we're both open so we can think outside the box, but I really would love like a man's perspective after watching that movie to see if he thinks the opposite.
So what I did think was interesting, and I did see from Malcolm's perspective in one, I'm trying to remember the scene where both of us were kind of like, she it was one of those trying to have you know what she's thinking when she's saying it. It had something to do with pretty much casting her. And I remember right afterwards she went outside to like smoke a cigarette, and I was like, wait, was that her trying to like drop hints that she wanted to be the one that was casted?
Oh, at the beginning you're talking about?
No, not at the very beginning. It was like her second cigarette break, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something to him, and it was supposed to like dawn on him how important it was for her to be casted. And we were both like, sis, that one had to be like said, because that one just like went over. Because right afterwards, I think he went and because right afterwards he went and played that that love song,
and that's when she walked off into the woods,
and you could clearly tell he was not on the same page. He didn't understand, because she wasn't being direct in some of that. And I was like, I could see how he didn't catch that.
But I think throughout the whole movie he didn't catch a lot.
Yeah,
and that's also the issue. Mm-hmm. Is I think in their relationship he wasn't picking up anything she was putting down, whether it was physically her telling him, because even when she was telling him stuff, it was like, oh, she's telling me something, and it went in one ear and out the other. So I think that was also the issue as well. But yes, I didn't really get that. Like, we picked up on it, but I was like, yeah, I don't think I would have known that you want to be casted either. And I think we didn't even know she had went up for the thing until that scene when she had asked. And I was like, oh, okay. But he just kept, you're jealous and this and that and all that stuff. And I was like, it's too much. Like, I feel like that could have been something handled a long time ago. But she definitely I feel like she needed to speak what she wanted. And I think that could have resolved some things originally. Not that night, but I'm saying way, way in advance. Like, I feel like this is about me, and I feel like I would be the best person to portray this because it is me. This is what I've gone through. You may, in movies they may add or take away something, but this is my life and that's what I feel. So I feel like I would be the best for it.
That was what it was. It's when they were laying on the couch and he had said about writing someone or
the review.
No, it wasn't the review. It was after the review. But it was acting about, why she hadn't acted, and she said, no one can ever write me as good as or as well as you do.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so that was pretty much her saying, you're asking why I'm not acting and, what feels natural to me. And the only person who can write me as well as you is you. Mm-hmm. And so you're pretty much asking a question that you have an answer to, essentially. You write, as well for me as anybody's ever going to. And that's where I feel at home, but yet you didn't cast me in that role.
Yeah.
That was where we were both like, I think that just kind of flew over him because she didn't say that in so many words.
Yeah.
But so first, how did you feel about the ending?
Hated it. The ending. So the ending, I really was like, oh, like she about to kill herself, because he was saying some shit. And I was like, if I was in a depressed state, that could be a possible option. I'm not saying that I would, and no one should. Let me put that out there as well. Mm-hmm. But I feel like because of everything she went through with, the drugs, all of that, and then him saying all this shit, is like the person you love is tearing you down. I was like, fuck, she's about to kill herself or kill them or kill him.
Or relapse.
Like, I was like, yeah, she's about to take some drugs, like, for sure, or something. Like, something was going to happen. But the ending was they went to sleep for, like, 0.2 seconds is what I'm going to say, because literally they were up for, I don't even know what time it was.
I think the movie starts at 2 a.m. in the morning.
And they were arguing for the whole movie. So I'm going to say...
the movie's almost 2 hours.
So at least 4 hours. So that's like 6 o'clock a.m. And then, like, he wakes up and she's not there. So he's looking around for her. She is on a cliff is what it looks like, because we can't really tell-ish. But it looks like a cliff from where, the film was. Mm-hmm. And he finally finds her. They stand beside each other, and the movie goes off.
I mean, they did acknowledge pretty much in the movie that they know they're not good for one another. They pretty much acknowledge that they're not good for one another. He says, I feel like we're going to get married and divorced, marry and divorce. I think that's been what a lot of people have used to describe.
But I feel like it's even more than toxic, but I don't know the word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like their relationship, I've seen some toxic relationships, between my mom and her peoples, etc. And so that was crazy. Like it was just, I think the tear down, I think is the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. The tear down is. And it's like, I don't even know. But that, yeah.
So here's the question that I have. Mm-hmm. Of what percentage of people do you think that movie is representative of in terms of their relationships?
Like significant other?
I mean, so let's do significant other. Let's start there.
I would probably say like 30%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I actually think it's a little bit higher than that.
I was gonna say 50, but I was trying to give the world a better chance, y'all.
I would say somewhere between like a 40 to 60 range. Like I think
that's terrible.
I mean, there's a lot of, whether it be toxic's one way to discuss it. I think it's unhealthy. I think it's learned behaviors. I think it's what's been modeled for you, either by, as you mentioned, parents. Mm-hmm. Whether that be also what's modeled to you in the relationships that you start off with. Mm-hmm. If you start off with something like in high school and that's a very unhealthy situation, then that's kind of like what you base your, your future ones. Like it can only either go up from here or like,
the same
XYZ.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to hear anybody's perspective who may not categorize it as toxic or unhealthy. Mm-hmm. I do think it's very, very, I think their lexicon is much more widespread in terms of how they're able to describe their disdain for each other.
It's crazy. It was literally,
I was like, what did he just say? Because he went deep.
Y'all, he had a sharp knife. You heard? No, but he had a sword. Fuck it. He could stay at a couch and touch her from here to the damn kitchen because that is how he was just hitting. Like he was. I don't even know what else to say. And like I said, I'm not just going to bash him because there were some things she said as well, but a lot of what she said was really for him to understand her. But I don't think she said anything that was like fully tear down about him the way that he did. Unless it was, I'm trying to think.
She did
back.
critique his work, which is his art, which is his
mediocre,
and then question like why he had the woman topless.
Yes, but that's not tearing him down. Mediocre, maybe, but the topless is just saying. I'm trying to understand why. I feel like that was, that's just giving your opinion on something. He's literally saying you're trash.
But for an artist. That is very much that can strike for them, even though to you as a person that may not feel as aggressive, but for someone who that's their livelihood and that's what they're putting out for the world to see. For some, even though they're expecting criticisms from like the masses, but from someone, because it wasn't just that she had questions like why was that, she actually was like, I think you doing that detracted. I wasn't just curious about it, but I also have an opinion on it. So there's a difference in just asking a question about why they did something and then saying, well, I actually think this based on this.
So I agree. Mm-hmm. However, when you put your work out there, it's going to get criticism, period. Regardless if it's someone that's close to you or not. So you would prefer, again, this is my opinion, you would prefer the person that is close to you to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. The way they say it may be something different, which in that sense, I don't think she said it wrong. Like she wasn't like, your shit terrible, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't have did that, da, 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 and like curse him out. She was just like, you had her topless in this scene. And I think it was like she was beating him up or something. I can't remember exactly the gist of why she was topless. But she was like, he was like, well, she wanted to do it. And she said, well, yeah, that's obvious. The actress that played the part wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. But when you put your work out there, just like when I put my work out there, when I'm asking people, I'm actually asking for their true opinion. Mm-hmm. Whether I like it or not, I may not like it. There's times that people tell me, I don't think that's good. And I was like, okay, well, I appreciate your opinion. I still may put it out there, but that's because it's, my work is what I feel. At the end of the day, it's my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it's his. But as your partner, if I'm dating Bob and I'm like, hey, I want you to look at this and tell me your opinion, I would want a true, honest opinion, not someone saying, yeah, it was great. So I don't know. Again, that's just me. So I don't think the way she approached it in that manner was bad. When she said mediocre, then that's different. She could have said that's different. Mm-hmm. But in relation to her opinion, you have workout. People are going to give it. Mm-hmm. And people are going to give it even if you don't want it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the mediocre, I think, was probably the worst. Because he was like, well, what the fuck? Hold on. My work is mediocre? Yeah, you probably could have used a better word. Than that, I don't think I would have liked someone saying my work is mediocre. You could have said, this part was not, what I thought it was going to be. It may have been better if it was X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. The next part I want to talk about, because I don't think we should talk about this the whole time, but the next part I want to talk about is when she came out with the knife.
Oh, authenticity!
So, y'all.
Authenticity! So they got this argument so before the actual knife scene, mm-hmm. It started by essentially him saying she didn't get the part mm-hmm. due to her lack of authenticity.
Yes. Uh-huh. This was the part that I talked about earlier when I said that was the worst one to me.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So then she leaves
mm-hmm.
the scene. I can't recall when she leaves the scene what she does. I think she went for a cigarette. I think that's when she was smoking in the room.
She went to the room and opened the back door mm-hmm. and was smoking, and then she came back in calmly.
And is that also when she put the robe on? Because mind you, but right before she asked that question of whether, why didn't you cast me, they had came down from their arguing.
Yes, they were kissing
and they were about to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
But his dumbass
had to go pee,
which left her enough time while he was absent to think about all
terrible.
The shit they said.
Yep, terrible.
So calls her to ask the question about why didn't you cast me, ended in him pretty much saying the lack of authenticity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
she went to go smoke in the room. Well, she was halfway in the room. And then, I can't remember if she had a robe on or not. I'm trying to think when she came back. She did, because when she came
down, it was flowing beside her. She
yes.
had the robe on.
So she went, put a robe on. She smoked. She came back. Then she grabbed a knife. And I said, oh, this is when shit hits all fans. And I said, she about to cut him. She looked crazy. Y'all hear me? She legit looked like, I need drugs right now. Mm-hmm. And if I don't get them, I'm slicing something. And so what happened, Fee?
So she starts by saying, I'm not well. I haven't been well. Mm-hmm. I haven't been sober.
I haven't been taking my depression medication.
That's what she started. Yes. She goes, I'm not well. Mm-hmm. The antidepressant medications, I'm off them. I haven't been sober. Mm-hmm. And she just starts taking the knife, kind of has it on the floor, starts tapping it on the floor. Mm-hmm. Then she starts revealing truths.
Yes, and then she started rubbing up against her neck
mm-hmm.
or her face.
Took the knife and was
rubbing against her neck or
lining
chin.
Her neck
yes.
and chin area.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "I fucked your friend."
Yes, but hold on. She said it, and then she laughed. She and I was like, but that ain't funny.
She repeated it,
and then said, "I fucked your friends," and I said, "Damn,
I stole from your mom."
Yes, and you said, the fucked up thing is, I don't even care. Because you know why? I deserved it. And I was thinking, you deserved, or she did. Hold on. What? Who deserved it? Because I'm confused. What did you steal and why did you deserve it?
And then asked him, where are the pills?
Yes.
Where do you keep them?
And then said it again.
And he, this entire time,
he's on the floor.
Bewildered.
And he's also sitting on the floor with his legs straight and she's like in front of him, probably a couple inches apart in front of him. And I'm just like, she about to stab him. And I was like, but you better give her the pills.
He's just and he goes,
And then she asks again.
He goes, And then to the effect, she stands up and essentially just says, how's that for authenticity?
And walks off, bitch. And I said,
yes. And what does his ass do? Acts like it's the revolution of the fucking year. And like, yes, that's what you should have done. Where was that energy at the audition?
And we're both like, I don't feel like that's the right response. Like, she had a knife. Huh?
And it sounds like she went to a pretty dark place to give you that.
And I'm really curious, did she really fuck your friend?
Right, because he never did follow up that question afterwards.
But you remember she said that he wasn't the jealous type.
Uh-huh.
So that didn't even he didn't even care about that. It was all about her. Oh my God, that was such a great performance. No, bitch, she said a lot.
Yes.
Let's follow up on those. Did she fuck your friends? Did she steal from your mom? Did she offer depression medication?
Did you never get clean? Did I write an entire story about somebody
that lied and said they got this?
He now has his part 2 to his movie.
Legit. Legit. Are they gonna do like other movies and cast a different person for part 2?
Oh my gosh.
That was crazy. It was, y'all.
Mind you, the whole thing is black and white too.
Yeah.
It all takes place in the house.
In the house and a little bit outside, but mainly in the house. But on the property. There is nothing else. So overall, I enjoyed it myself. I think it was very interesting. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that I was like, oh, I need to talk about, but it was.
One other note, I did appreciate how they communicated how they felt about one another through music.
Yes, because they played some old songs, y'all, and I was like, oh, I remember that from an old movie. So they played some good music. I can't remember what song she played, but basically, from, oh my God, I can't think of her name. Dionne Warwick. It was, oh fuck. Damn, I can't think of it. But it was Dionne Warwick's song. And
pretty much let that man go.
Basically.
He ain't no good for you.
And it was just like, no.
And that was after the bathroom scene, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was after the bathroom scene.
Mm-hmm.
She came outside. He was sitting on the patio. She joined him and just sat beside him and played that song and just looked at him like, what you think about this?
Yeah. But the whole point of the song, though, is that her friends were telling her to let him go. But she's saying, no, that's my man. I still love him. So the gist of it is she really should let him go because he's going to break her heart is the song. But she loves him so much that she's willing to stay to deal with whatever abuse there is, verbal mainly.
I hope it allows a lot of people when watching it to assess their own situations. Mm-hmm. And so this is also can be applicable to, this is not just exclusive to relationships. People are like this in friendships.
True.
People are like this to their children. People are like this to their parents.
To
people are like this to coworkers, like subordinates.
Yeah.
So it's important to assess the type of language that you use and assess the type of energy you have when you're talking to other people.
Yeah. And
just kind of monitoring that. I hope that it has a lot of self-reflection. And if you see yourself at all in the movie, try to address that.
Yes. It is very important. And I think it also deals with mental health is what I saw a lot in it. Or
he baited her a lot with a lot of his rhetoric about her mental health.
Yeah, so mental health I think has a lot to do with it, and I might have to add some type of substance abuse as well, not just alone on her end, but his, because he was throwing her back, and people can do that. It doesn't mean that you're an alcoholic or anything, but that might be a part of it, because when you drink alcohol, the saying goes what, Fee?
Drunken mind speaks sober thoughts.
Yes. So he's saying all this shit when he's drunk. Those are his thoughts. There is no other. I hate when people say, well, I was just drunk. Well, baby, that's because you wanted to do that all along. Your drinking just it brought down those barriers that helped you earlier not to say these terrible things. But I don't know.
So and I'll leave it there. The only other thing I was curious about, because I don't think they gave us context at all, was how long they had been together.
Together, yeah. We have no idea.
Prior to this happening.
Because we don't know what her age was then. Because they kept saying 20 is when she went through her thing. But it never said what their age is now. So you can never tell. I'm probably thinking 4 or 5 years. Because if you look at it, it doesn't look like they're in their 30s. So I would definitely say 20s, but I wouldn't even say late 20s based on what it was. And he's been working on it for years, I think is what they said. So I would have to go with, a couple years, maybe 24, 25-ish.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 years. Y'all have done that throughout the whole relationship.
Yes.
That is unhealthy. So I'm going to ask this question. Have you ever been in a relationship such as that?
No. My previous relationships, we just didn't talk about what was going on at all. So.
Toxic in a different manner.
You're toxic in a whole different capacity where you just don't talk about shit that's going on.
Okay.
What about you?
I would not say that it was ever to that level, but I definitely think that there was a relationship I was in where we cut each other deep. Not physically, y'all, so there was no knives, but like if we got into an argument, I would say something or he would say something because we knew it would hurt that person. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is what I dealt with. Like watching this, I was like, oh shoot, like some of it reminded me like when they were saying things, I would never say the things that was said there. But I definitely was in a relationship at one point, and that's when I realized, that it's not good for me. I just didn't want to deal with it at the point. Mm-hmm. So you have to just know when it's right for you. And a lot of people say, but what if, the man or the woman is the breadwinner of the household and all this stuff. You have to be able to be strong enough to get out of those situations. Mm-hmm. There are resources for it. There's also, if you're able to stay in it or whatever it may be, as long as it's not physical, because that can always turn to death. So you just get out. But if it's verbal and you're able to stay there for a little bit and be able to stack up your paper for you to be able to be on your own, then that's always an option. Mm-hmm. But if it's a relationship such as that, you shouldn't be in it because I don't think there is no positive to that. Mm-hmm. They bring you happiness, and that's what a lot of people dwell on in those type of relationships. Like, oh, we have great moments, but are the great moments better than the not great moments, the not so great?
Just the good outweigh the bad.
If it doesn't, then, or if they're very close to each other, then I don't know. It should be very close to hopefully 0%, but I would more say, if anything, 80-20. The 80-20 rule is what people say, but they usually deal with like women and, is the person a cook and all this stuff, but the other person comes around and has all the good looks. So you go for the 20, but it could be dealt with that too. Like, mm-hmm. Is the good 80% or is the bad 80%? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
And for anybody who feels triggered at all, I'm sure a lot of people felt triggered
with that movie. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I know a lot of people are delaying watching it
because of that.
They don't want to be triggered.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, definitely want to hear, especially if you have any thoughts that oppose any of the viewpoints that we've discussed. I'll be putting up some stuff. We'll be looking at our Instagram to be discussing what y'all's thoughts are, and we'll kind of bring that back around.
Yeah, and y'all can go ahead and post on YouTube as well, comment, and we'll respond. But I really, that movie was crazy. And that's all I got to say on that note. In relation to that movie, anything else about the movie?
No, I don't have anything else about the movie. So.
All right. Well, what we're going to do now is go ahead and jump into our topic, which is throuple, yay or nay. Why or why not? Hopefully y'all know what a throuple is. Do you know what a throuple is, Fee?
It's when a couple then gets with a third person and the three of you have intimacy and sexual relations. Is there any other definitions to that I am missing?
No, well, basically, I'll just give the regular definition, which is a relationship between three people who have all unanimously agreed to a romantic, loving relationship together with the consent of all people involved.
Oh, I didn't realize throuple was so involved in that way.
Yeah, throuple is like y'all all in a relationship together.
Okay, you're talking about different than threesome.
Yes, baby. Yeah.
Girl, I don't know. For some reason, throuple to me meant threesome.
No.
I didn't realize they're not exclusive.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, they have a threesome there, but technically it's just them in their relationship.
Right.
But a threesome is usually if it was, let's say, you, me, and Billy.
Like
and
one night stand type things.
It could be a one night stand, or it could be, once in a blue moon, once a year or something. We just have this one person that we want to have sex with, and we just have that communication with them. But a throuple is literally like me, you, and Bill are in a legit relationship. We do things together. It's like we're all dating each other. Mm-hmm. So, oh my God, what is his name? It literally just came to my head, but he's in a throuple. Oh, D. Ray Davis. Mm-hmm. I love me some D. Ray Davis. But D. Ray Davis. So he's basically in a throuple. Mm-hmm. He, or was, I don't know if he's still in that same relationship, but at one point, it was him and two women, and they all live in the same household. He pays the bills. He basically is as if him and, or like I said, let's say me and Bill are together. And as you said, we bring you in, but we're all together. We live under the same roof. He takes care of both of us. We go on dates together. He also can go on a date with just me and then go on a date with just you. I can go on a date with just you. We are literally all in a relationship together. There is no, oh, well, I'm spending 100% of time with Fee or 80% of the time with Fee and only 20% with V. It is literally like equal. It is equal on all parts. Mm-hmm. So I think the only thing is, I can't remember if with D. Ray Davis, if the women had sex without him, but I don't remember that part. But I think in a throuple, depending on what y'all's communication is or conversation about it, a lot of the times the women don't. And a lot of times the men don't have sex without both parties either, because they don't want the man to get real, or I'm not gonna say real feelings, because he has feelings for both, but favoritism towards one or the other. Mm-hmm. So I think it really just depends on what that communication is amongst the three. Sophie, baby, would you do a throuple? Why or why not? Okay.
So you just made it make sense. Throuple is pretty much polygamy. I had to kind of.
You were thinking threesome.
Yes, I had to kind of categorize. I'm going to say where I am at currently in my stage of life and where I have been prior to, that I'm very much a monogamous person.
Okay.
So I don't think that would be right for me.
It's kind of monogamy because it's just y'all three, though. It's not like they're picking out. It's not a threesome where you and Billy are. I don't know why I keep saying Billy, but you and Billy.
Monogamy, it's me and one other person.
But you and Billy are
polygamy.
But I'm saying is
that's why monogamy and polygamy are not the same thing.
So polygamy is
essentially relationships with more than two people. Mm-hmm. So 3, 4,
but usually
5,
polygamy
has like multiple wives.
Yeah. Well, but with a throuple is literally just them three. So polygamy, I think, is more so. So yes, I think it's a part. Throuple is a part of polygamy, yes. But I think polygamy goes to a whole other level. But continue.
Yeah, I don't believe that would be right for
the cup of tea
for me. The cup of tea for the fee. I don't think I don't think I can invest that type of energy into more than one person.
Okay.
I also don't think that I would be able to see the person whom I love with another person, regardless if I love both these people or not. Like, I don't think, and I also think where securities draw from, I always think there would be an insecurity piece there. Mm-hmm. That either one, we are doing this because I may not be what fulfills you, and so that person is the other piece that fulfills you. And then in addition to, it's just like I'm not enough, so there needs to be more people. And also, I'm very much raised in the monogamous society too. Mm-hmm. So that also plays into, again, molding what has been modeled for you, what you've seen. For me, that's always been monogamy. Mm-hmm. So that's
irritate.
My piece. What about you, Vin?
So if I would want to do it, I could probably say probably not. Like, it would be something that just like, this is what I want type thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I was to meet someone and we had a full discussion, because I'm always open to having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So if I meet someone and we have a conversation about it and he's like, this is something I want to try, then there would definitely be rules, which mainly would be that I would have to pick out the other party because I'm going to have to be attracted to the person,
mm-hmm.
whether it's male or female.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure in that instance it's going to be a female, but I would have to be attracted to the female to want to do anything with said female.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to pick the female out, and it would have, so it would have to, that would be the first piece. The second piece would be, it would literally have to be a D-Ray situation. Like, you have the funds to take care of both of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you work at a fast food restaurant and we're eating oodles and noodles and Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It would need to be where if I needed something or wanted something or whatever it may be, that you are able to provide for me as well as the other girl, because that's technically what your duty is at this point. Because you can't just, you have to have enough money to be able to take us both out. You have to have enough money to be able to do things for us both. So, you couldn't work at a fast food restaurant. You have to own it. I don't know. So that is my thoughts on it. But it wouldn't, again, be something I'd be like, yeah, I just want to do that. No, it would have to be a lot of other things, and we would have to have rules.
Mm-hmm. So I just looked at, because for some reason, usually when I think of people who are either in a throuple or in a polygamous relationship, I always think of broods of children, like multiples, a lot of kids that come from it. Because usually it's one man, multiple women. They're usually having
children,
babies.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the purpose of being polygamous is to spread your seed. He only has one child.
Who?
D-Ray Davis.
Yeah, I'm quite sure.
I was shocked by that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have
He just has 2 women. That's all he wants. He wants 2 women. He didn't say he wants 18 children. Yeah, and both the women are pretty.
I'm sure.
When I saw him before. Again, I don't know if it's the same women. This was, I think, years ago. So I have no idea.
No, I think he's still in a relationship with the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, I would do it in a D-Ray situation. If D-Ray came up to me and was like, you know what? Anna over here didn't work out. I don't know how we met, but let's say we met somewhere and he was feeling me, then that might be a yes for me. I would think about it and be like, I need all the details first, like how everything works. So again, people have their different rules. Mm-hmm. So again, is it we all do everything together, or is it you do stuff with me, you do stuff with her, we don't do anything together? Like, I would need to know a lot of what the rules are first before I made a decision. But if it came up to me, I'm at least at 50%. Mm-hmm. And then let's see if we get to 100. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, I don't think there.
So you don't think any celebrity that came up to Fee Baby and said, I'm feeling you for whatever reason, he saw you somewhere. Let's say my book that come out is banging and there's a premiere for it, and he's there. I'm speaking things into existence.
Yes.
And whoever
put in the atmosphere.
Yes, whoever this person is that you're gonna say in a moment came up to you and was feeling you, your vibe, the way you was looking, all of that, and and he asked you this, later on, let's say y'all went on a couple dates, and then he's like, you know what, I want to be honest with you. I have technically a girlfriend. However, we have thruples, a throuple relationship. The one we were just with, it didn't work out because whatever. He explains it all to you, goes through all the rules. And this person, which you'll name, you would say no. Is there any person?
No.
Really?
Because I don't think that a person's status would compromise my like moral kind of stance on that.
You trying to say I got no morals?
No.
She trying to say I got no morals, y'all. That's what I just heard.
That's what you wanted to hear, not what I said.
See,
like
toxic.
What? In terms of just like what makes me who I am, like that wouldn't be compromised based on
their
someone's status and my lustfulness for them, because at that point it's just a lustful situation.
Probably.
Which initially is what would engage me in that.
Yeah.
So no, I don't believe that if I was approaching something like that, 'cause again, that's just kind of my core foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be something that would sway me.
Yeah.
Just because of who they are.
His status.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, because I think that I would have a threesome in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably where my mindset starts off at. Like, okay, well, I would already have a threesome, so let's see where the rest would go. So I think that also deals with that, because I don't think you would have a threesome.
Have you had one?
No.
Okay. So we hear that you're open to it. With the right partner.
If y'all could see my face.
She's definitely giving me this bullshit face.
This is. Bitch, you lying.
She's giving me the worst side eye. But no, it wouldn't be with just any partner. Like, it would have to be, because again, the security portion of me, mm-hmm. I wouldn't just be able to have a threesome with any partner. Mm-hmm. Like, I would need to. No, because,
Hold on, y'all, pause. So I'm just saying this. She trying to say something that she really ain't gonna do, but she's trying to say it so it sounds good. But bitch, you ain't gonna do it because
I told myself I would try something. I would try that.
Guess what, y'all? No. Guess what? Let me say it again. No. Capital N and a capital O with 18 billion exclamation marks after it. No.
My life.
No. You can go ahead, but I call B of S. What's the song? Kalani and no, who's in? Yeah, Kalani and Janae Aiko. It is Janae Aiko and Kalani BS.
That's not who it is. Actually, that's funny.
Who is that? Is it?
No, it's not.
That is.
It's not.
Because that's a remix.
What's a remix?
Isn't that the BS remix?
Okay, that's the remix.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's the one I listened to.
You just now said the remix. That's not what you said first. The original one does not have Miss Kalani on it.
It don't matter. I said BS. That's the name of the song, which is BS with Janae Aiko, mm-hmm. Kalani, or Janae Aiko and her. Mm-hmm. I know both versions, but I listen to the Kalani ones more often. Mm-hmm. So, like I was saying, it's full of the B of the S.
Like I was saying.
Exactly. B of the S, but continue with your lies. I meant story. I meant your answer.
Now who feels attacked? now who feels attacked?
It's not attacked. It is the truth, bitch. That's the truth.
I feel
she over here talking about something. Yeah, I have a threesome with. You would not, because
I did not. First of all, I did not jump both feet and say yeah.
I may have one with the right person. That's a lie. Because you're security.
Sound, boo.
Because you are about security, and you would feel some type of way if he asked you if to have a threesome. The first thing that would come across your mind is, why does he want to have a threesome? What am I not doing? It may not be I, but what is going on in this relationship of why he wants to have a threesome? Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, am I right or am I right? I forgot. Which one is it? Is it the first right or the second? You got to answer for the people. The people want to know.
For the people, my face is just covered in both my hands, and I'm just inhaling deeply. And I'm pretty sure my face is beet red. I'm so over her.
Her face is red, but she still answers a question, y'all.
I would like to, no matter what stance VEE is taking over here, I would still like to think and believe that I'd be open to a dialogue.
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
And having the conversation.
She would be open to the dialogue. I would give her that, and that is where it would stop. It would be, yes, baby, I understand. Okay, I get, okay. No. That's how it would go. My dialogue would be different. I'd be like, okay, So, what would the rules be? What
Anybody
is
ask
it?
you,
She wouldn't even get to the rules, baby. She'd just be like, yes, I get it, honey. Yes, Billy. Yeah, okay, uh-huh. No, this is
why
not.
am I with Billy?
Because that's the name. I don't know. I always say Billy. That's,
Billy don't sound cute.
You never know.
Billy don't sound cute.
Well, a Jerome, bitch. I don't know.
Okay, I might work.
So, Jerome, she's like, okay, Jerome. Yes, Jerome, I get it. I'm going to think about it. But really in the back of her head, she's like, this person, he think what? No, you're not having a threesome. But it's all right.
All right, Velvet.
Anyways, y'all, we have been talking for a while now.
Malcolm and Marie, really, that was a really good.
It is. Y'all need to watch.
I'm glad we watched it together so that we can kind of.
Yes, it was a lot. So,
and you couldn't take your eyes off that for 2.5 seconds
because you would miss something. We had to rewind a couple times. I was like, "Hold on, what? Hold on, hold on, what? Hold on, what? Rewind that. What happened?"
Yeah.
So I would suggest watching it. And again, y'all, please let us know what y'all think about the movie. If y'all think it's toxic, or, even if y'all been in that type of relationship, how y'all got out of that type of relationship, or if you stayed in it, if you're still in it, like, just give us, some conversation. I cannot talk right now. We will respond. We'll be posting on Instagram, of course, where all the podcasts are, but also YouTube. So you can respond on Instagram or YouTube, and we will reply. Anything else you want to add today, Fee?
No. I think we covered it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I forgot to say this at the beginning, but welcome to all of the new listeners. Mm-hmm. And thank you for the returning listeners. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe.
I think them is all the things.
I think
it's all the things you can do. Tell your friends. Tell your friends too.
That's important. Please tell everyone, actually. Just go through and tell everyone. But again, it is your girl, Velvet.
And Fee, baby.
Just remember, each of you are beautiful, and to never stay what? Stagnant in your life.
And set each day with new intention. Life is tough, my dear, but so are you.
Yes, you are. Deuces.
Adios.